Our story begins nearly 2 centuries ago in 1831 when the first settlers arrived upon the dry prairie. From those humble beginnings, a village slowly took shape. By 1860, Athens was formally laid out, its streets, its lots marking firm intentions to endure and to grow. In the years to follow, the foundation of community were firmly set. In 1873, the first high school building opens its doors. And in 1883, the Athens Times began publications, preserving the very history we now tell. By 1895, the village was incorporated.
In the beginning, the game was played on a rectangular field with an upright post in each corner. The corner posts were the four bases. That was early baseball. Folks were laughing at New Yorkers back then in the 1840s because New Yorkers were playing baseball instead on an infield diamond, one which was incidentally the same size and the same shape as today's baseball diamond.
The 19th century is drawn to a close. A new and noble pastime, baseball, captures the very soul of America. It's a game of skill, speed, and manly endeavor that excites young and old alike. August 1894. In an article by Marshall Democratic Expounder, Athens citizens are scandalized by young men playing baseball on public streets on Sundays. In 1895, in the quiet hamlet of Athens, the fever begins to rage as schoolboys take up the bat. The nearby Potawatomi Nine and the men of the town engage in fierce, independent contests, establishing the game's earliest foothold. Here is believed to be a photo pre-1900. It's now 1900, and here is a 1960 article identifying the first Athens high school baseball team of the 20th century. In 1902, an article from the Detroit Free Press shows the passion of the game grew to a fever pitch. The village of Athens proves itself baseball crazy, hosting two semi-professional nines from Battle Creek and Saginaw. Businesses will be closed during the game. The Nines will play for a staggering purse of $100 plus the gate. Saginaw is victorious 11-8 as 600 people enjoy the game. Finally, the moment has arrived. While we have photos prior to 1905, it is that year we found the first accounting that Athens high school baseball team will travel to Tecontia to open the 1905 high school baseball season.
Now, the rest of the story.
At the dawn of the 20th century, a small school in the village of Athens begins to build something remarkable. 3 early seasons would shape the character of the team. From 1906 through 1908, Athens compiled an extraordinary record, 23 victories against only 2 defeats. Athens and Union City meet for the first game of the season on May 5th. Union City answers gamely but cannot keep pace. The Athens boys cross the plate 7 times to their opponent's 5. The townfolk beam with satisfaction. On May 11th, the Athens team travels to Coldwater. The home nine of that team offers spirited resistance. Their batting is timely, their fielding sure, but Coldwater scholars are unable to match the steady pressure. Athens leads Coldwater with a victory of 9-5. May 18th, Athens travels to Marshall for their 3rd contest of the season. The Marshall boys struggled early. Their fielding uncertain, their batting light. Athens, on the contrary, connected solidly with the ball. The Marshall Chronicle remarks that the whole tale can be told in one sentence. Athens could hit, Marshall could not. Errors troubled the home nine. Athens prevails 6-1. In late May, the Athens team returns from Battle Creek bearing another triumph, having defeated the Michigan Business Normal College by the score 9-6. Paraphrasing the Athens Times, their arrival at the station creates a great ovation. The bandwagon is brought forth, and behind it marches a lone cornet, a drum corps, the broom brigade, a train of schoolboys, and loyal admirers. The victorious athletes ride through the town like champions. Paraphrasing the Athens Times, Decoration Day brings a contest with Colon, a formidable opponent fresh from a 13-0 defeat of Three Rivers. While such news might cast gloom upon lesser teams, it only stiffens the resolve of Athens. The match is fiercely fought. In the later innings, foul balls caused unwelcome commotion among the spectators. 2 or 3 fall among the ladies gathered at the south end of the field, and one young lady must limp away for care. J.F. Culp is struck squarely on the pocket where he keeps his watch, which deflected the blow. The most alarming incident occurs when a hot ball crashes squarely into the Colon's catcher, striking down to his chin. He drops, having a few convulsive tremors. Attendants quickly sponged his face, and after a tense interval, he revives and bravely resumes his post behind the plate. Athens proves the superior side in the end, obtaining 8 runs to Colon 6. June 6 takes Athens to Union City. The game is wild from the start. Athens committed 12 errors to Union City's 9. Despite the ragged play, Athens pitcher Lyle Miller performs with distinction, striking out 11 men and keeping the contest well in hand. The crowd of 500 looks on as Athens wins again, 8-5. It's June 15th. The Michigan Business Normal College returns for another exhibition in Athens. Before a gathering of 400 spectators, Athens displays commanding form. Miller scatters 8 hits and strikes out 9 batters. The home team hits with vigor and runs the bases, securing 14 runs to the collegiate 7. Cheers echo across the grounds as the Athens boys conclude their season in fine fashion. Here is your 1906 Athens High School team. A season marked by stout hearts, lively bats, and the unwavering support of their town with the names of Swartz, Snyder, Funk, Waterman, Miller, Pro, and others on their lips. The final record of Athens High School team stands at 5 regular season victories and 2 exhibition wins over Michigan Business Normal College. A year of ill omen hung over the countryside when measles and chicken cholera swept the farms and crossroads, leaving the season thin on reports and thinner on games. Lyle Miller, steady on the mound. Roy Fox, quick and sure behind the plate. John Stansfield guarding first. Grover Pro patrolling second. Glenn Waterman, swift as a shadow at short. Paul Snyder firm at third. In the outer garden, Edson Swartz in left. L.D. Funk in center. Lloyd Fox in right field. April 19th, Athens defeats Colon 21-2. Brunson 13-0. Beats Union City 17-4. Beats Bellevue 26-0. And finishes up beating Coldwater 16-3. From the Kalamazoo Telegraph, the team has entered the Interscholastic Championship and fulfills all requirements. Battle Creek City High is turned aside 5-0. The following week, Marshall is also turned aside 9-1. Next up, Lansing. One member of the Lansing team on arrival is credited with saying, "I did not know such a place as Athens was on the map. He knows it now." 7 victories without a blot brings Lansing High to Athens. 600 souls ring the field, townfolk and travelers alike. Dueling pitchers battle. Millard of Lansing strikes out 3. Miller of Athens strikes out 7. Athens prevails 2-1. The murmur of the crowd stirs like wind through corn. Spectators from Union City mutter over lost wages, having put their coin on the visitors. Perhaps they'll know better next time. Battle Creek, certain of their path to the semifinals, must first reckon with Athens. Earlier in the spring, Athens has bested them, but the tide has turned. This day as Athens records 12 errors in a rain-shortened game. The Serial City claims the day 11-4, and the Athens season draws to its end. 8 victories, 1 defeat, and the pride of the town stitched forever into the summer of 1907. Perhaps a glimpse into the future. The baseball team of Athens High School entered the season with confidence and purpose, and before long made known their strength throughout the region. Their names, Standiford, Fox, Stansfield, Pro, Waterman, Funk, Fox, Funk, Wells, and others. Sturgis was met and shut out by a score of 18-0. Then in short order, Athens took on Bellevue, winning 12-3. Battle Creek Business College 18-0. Beating a local Potawatomi team also by 18-0. It is hoped that the home team will slow down a little to give the visitors at least 1 score. Union City defeated 13-2. Battle Creek High School overtaken 6-2. Union City again defeated 7-2.
Then Vicksburg, in a hard-fought contest, went down by the score of 17-9.
On the mound for Athens stood Staniford, who delivered one of the finest exhibition of pitching seen that season. He recorded his fourth shutout, striking out 15 men and holding Lansing to but one run. The final score, 4-1. The game was described as a pretty contest, and the Lansing players themselves declared the best team won. Advancing to the semifinal game in Dowagiac, Athens again prevails 2-0. Staniford played what is said to be his best game of the season, the contest being described as one of the liveliest, best games ever seen upon a Dowagiac diamond. At last came the Michigan State High School Baseball Championship, played upon Athens grounds. All of Athens was there, and many from neighboring towns beside. The attendance numbered 1,000 people. The cheering and yelling would have done credit to a college or a high school from a much larger town. The contest was tense and hard-fought affair, marred by 5 errors on each side. The outcome hung in doubt until the very end. Not until the top half of the ninth inning was the game finally decided. Though Athens fought bravely to the very last, they came up short on the championship crown. Yet the season closed with honor. The Athens team had shown courage, skill, and sportsmanship, and had carried their school colors with distinction. Though the title escaped them, their record and their play secured them a lasting place in the history of Athens baseball.
In a little town in Michigan, just south of Battle Creek, there's a story for those record books that high schools like to keep. 1909 and 12, they played beneath the summer sun. The Athens High School baseball team went 42-0.
'Twas the season of 1909, when Athens High took to the field with steady hands and brighter hopes. I'm Cy Standiford, pitcher for that fine nine, and I reckon the rest you'll see soon enough.
A new uniform for new season, blue with white trim. The Athens High School baseball team of 1909, the Battery, Roy Fox and Cy Standiford, Donald Miller at first, Lloyd Fox at second, Glenn Waterman at short, and L.D. Funk at third. In the outfield, Greensides, Dennison, and Stansfield, with Outman and Wells in support, and Superintendent Eddie guiding the club. 12 games played, 12 victories secured, not one defeat upon the record. Staniford led the staff, claiming 8 victories and striking out 60 men. Wells and Fox added to the total. Athens scored 99 runs, their opponents but 28. Union City, Albion, Sherwood, all defeated. One by one, they fell. In a game with Sturgis, they held the early advantage, but Athens surged ahead before the game was called for the train. Then came whispers of controversy. Rivals questioned the eligibility of pitcher Cy Staniford, but the facts were clear and the claims were unfounded. Athens claims the district championship for the second year in a row. Tested in exhibition games with Western Normal and McFadden Sanatorium, Athens came away 1-1, not losing to Western Normal until the 9th inning. The semifinals, undefeated Dexter upon their home grounds. Dexter gathered 9 hits, Athens but 4, yet poor base running cost them dearly, and Athens prevailed 5-1. The journey carried them beyond Athens, into the trials that would decide the state. At last, the final contest. The foe, undefeated Mount Pleasant. The field, their home grounds. The crowd, 800 in attendance. While a single run decided the championship, the Athens Times reported that a long hit in the 9th inning gave great concern, but relay throws by Wells to Fox to Funk caught the Mount Pleasant runner a foot from third base and spoiled their last chance to score. Athens stood, state champions of Michigan, in 1909. And in the days that followed, a new school would rise upon the grounds, a fitting monument to a victorious year.
Greetings, friends. I am Donald Miller, first baseman for Athens High School. It is 1910. Fresh from our first state championship, we step back onto the field with one goal: to claim another. 11 games lie ahead. 11 victories will follow. And though we did not yet know it, the season we began would be remembered long after our cleats left the dirt.
Fresh from their first state championship in 1909, Athens enters the spring of 1910 with confidence unshaken. From April through May, opponents fell in rapid succession. Colon, Tecontia, Sherwood, Sturgis, Lansing, Union City, and Brunson. At Union City, pitcher Wells struck out the side, 3 up and 3 down, in both the 5th and the 9th inning. The road to glory continues.
Cited in the Union City paper.
There is nothing on the face of the earth more important to the inhabitants of Athens than baseball. As soon as a native Athenian wears his first trousers, he is supplied with a baseball and a bat and sent forth to conquer, and he usually does. The public school curriculum contains nearly as much baseball as regular studies, and young men have been known to remain in high school 14 years because they could play good ball. First came undefeated Holland. 400 spectators crowded to Athens grounds. A 15-year-old Holland catcher played like a veteran until the 8th inning when a foul ball struck his hand and forced his removal. Then the dust cleared. Athens 1, Holland 0. Next up, Dexter. The largest crowd of the season, 500 strong, filled the grounds. Lloyd Fox pitched a spectacular game. Athens has yet to meet high school pitcher who can fling the ball like the lad who has worked so effectively in these last games, nor a catcher with the ability of Roy Fox. They form a combination no team has yet been able to solve. Their success is made possible by the splendid support of their teammates. Final score, Athens 9, Dexter 1. Finally, the championship game. The Muskegon Chronicle reported, "It was the best interscholastic baseball game ever seen in Saginaw. Each team made but one error. Athens tallied 6 hits to Arthur Hill's 3. In the 4th inning, Arthur Hill loaded the bases, but a runner was caught in a rundown at third on Fox's peg. In the 9th, Oldacre singled. Roy Fox drove him home. Lloyd Fox fanned the side. The crowd ended it all with 3 roaring cheers for Athens. Final score, Athens 1, Saginaw Arthur Hill 0, a second state championship, won in succession. After the team had returned, downtown Athens erupted in joy. Players and coaches rode a parade wagon beneath a banner of triumph. Ribbons were awarded to the champions, both the 1909 and 1910 teams. 5 players had stood on both championship teams. What a grand celebration it was.
In 1911, we took the field once more, not as challengers, but as champions. 5 remained from 09. 8 returned from our perfect season of 1910. 11 games lay ahead, and we would win them all. Yet this championship would not come without question.
Excitement spreads in Athens. A new baseball field was soon to rise upon a 3-acre parcel on the east side of the village, complete with grandstands and bleachers. A fitting home for a team whose prospects for yet another state championship were most flattering. The season opened with contests closer than years past, yet the victories came one after another all the same. Tecontia fell, then Holland, undefeated early in the season, Union City twice, Brunson twice, and Dowagiac. The march continued. 2 exhibition contests added color to the campaign. First came Albion College. Athens fell narrowly 6-5 in 10 innings. Of note, 2 Athens alumni now wore Albion uniforms, Lyle Miller on the mound and L.D. Funk at first base. The second exhibition brought the Battle Creek Meteors to Athens, and this time the home team prevailed 8-4. And so Athens moved onward to the playoffs. The district championship was played in North Adams. Undefeated North Adams struck first, leading 3-0 after 2 innings. Then Lloyd Fox took command. From that moment, he was nearly invincible. One North Adams player later remarked, they had never before faced such a pitcher. Athens triumphed 8-5. Amusingly, after defeating Kalamazoo, Battle Creek students had published a team photo, thinking they were state champions. Their laughter was short-lived, for they soon learned they must face Athens. The joke, it seemed, was on them. Semifinal. played on Athens grounds. Battle Creek was defeated 9-4. The game was marked by 10 Battle Creek errors to Athens 3. In the dead ball era, Roy Fox hit a home run in the first inning, and Lloyd followed in the third. Lloyd Fox struck out 13, while Battle Creek's celebrated pitcher struck out 5. And then came the championship game and the controversy. The title game was to be a rematch between Athens and Saginaw Arthur Hill, but complications arose. On June 15th, Saginaw Arthur Hill proclaims themselves state champions, declaring Kalamazoo the only worthy opponent. Kalamazoo refused to play them. On June 17th, Battle Creek declines to play Saginaw, citing inability to meet travel expenses. On June 20th, Athens defeats Battle Creek 9-4. On June 21st, Saginaw Arthur Hill agrees to meet Athens, but insists if the game was played in Athens, it would be at 2 o'clock on Friday, June 23rd, a time of their choosing. Athens agreed, noting they themselves had traveled to Saginaw the previous year. Financial guarantees were offered to cover travel expenses. But on the evening of June 22nd, Saginaw sent word. Their senior banquet was that night. It was feared the players might not return in time, nor be fit to play after a long journey. Saginaw proposed that Athens travel instead, offering 2 days' expenses. Athens refused. Saginaw volunteered to forfeit. By June 28th, 3 schools claimed the state championship. Saginaw Arthur Hill argued that the Fox brothers had played semi-professional baseball, though no proof was offered. Battle Creek argued that their loss should be voided. Yet in the years that followed, newspapers across the state consistently refer to Athens as the champions of 1911, and so the Athens Dynasty continued, victorious on the field and in history.
Name's Lloyd Fox, pitcher for Athens. It was the spring of 1912. We were back on the field. Short season that year. 6 games, then a semifinal, then the championship. I had the ball again. The town expected us to win. We played fast. We played hard. And when it ended, we were champions once more.
On April 14, 1912, the Athens team faced an unusual opponent. Western State Normal came to town with former Athens catcher Roy Fox behind the plate. On the mound for Athens stood his younger brother Lloyd. That afternoon, brother faced brother on the Athens field. Western State took the game 8-4, but for the Fox family, it was a day unlike any other. Athens opened the 1912 season in commanding fashion. On May 5th, Brunson was overwhelmed 15-0. 3 days later, Tecumseh met the same fate with the very same score, but the third contest told a different story. On May 16th, Union City battled Athens in what many called the prettiest game ever seen on local grounds. Pitcher Fox allowed but 1 hit, and the struggle stretched into extra innings. Then in the 10th, Staniford dashed for the plate and stole home with the winning run. Athens wins 2-1. The march continued. On May 18th, Athens met Lansing and secured another shutout, 3-0. Fox pitched the grand game, holding Capital City players at his mercy throughout. One paper called him the best and most experienced high school pitcher in Michigan, while Miller thrilled the crowd with daring runs on the bases. A week later, on May 25th, Owasso was turned aside 11-0. Fox again dominated, allowing only 5 scattered hits. By the end of May, the newspapers were saying what Athens already believed. That is, with another victory, the team could now proclaim state championship and boldly challenge any school that dared dispute their title. May 30th, Athens 2, North Adams 1 in 10 innings. The game was plainly a pitcher's battle. Fox for Athens had 14 strikeouts. Ivins for North Adams had 12 strikeouts. With this game, Athens has won enough games to get into the championship race, and they challenge any team that has not lost any games to battle for the top place. Nearby Battle Creek was also in the hunt by beating Grand Rapids. However, their loss to Lansing ended their hopes of 1912. Early June, Millington laid claim to the state title as well. Then on June 8th, Athens defeated Colon 3-1 before 500 spectators. Once more, Athens issues the challenge to any undefeated team anywhere in the state for the honors of 1912. By late June, only 2 undefeated teams remained. Athens, the undisputed champion of the Southern and Western Michigan, and Millington, the acknowledged champion of the East. On June 22nd, the 2 powers agreed to meet. No more claims in the newspaper, no more challenges sent by telegram. The title will be settled on the field. Athens at Millington for the championship of Michigan. On June 25th, the championship was decided. Athens struck first, scoring 2 in the opening inning, but in the third, Millington fought back and tied the game. Then Athens answered. Opportune hitting and clever base running produced 1 run in the fourth, another in the fifth, and 1 more in the sixth. Behind it all stood pitcher Lloyd Fox. He allowed but 6 hits, struck out 12, and held the undefeated Millington team in check. Final score, Athens 5, Millington 2. The championship was theirs.
I am Superintendent Reebs. I had the privilege of coaching many of these fine young men from 1910 through 1912. And I ask you now to reflect upon the story you have just witnessed and to remember the boys who made it possible. From 1906 through 1912, their record stood at 65 victories and but 2 defeats. From 1909 through 1912, they were never beaten. 42 victories without a loss. More than 24 young men took the field in those years, and together they secured 4 consecutive state championships. The first dynasty in Michigan high school baseball. Many would go on to play at the collegiate level, and some in the minor leagues here in Michigan. But they were not professionals nor famous men. They were schoolboys from a small town. And for 4 remarkable years, they were the finest team in the state. I ask you now to remember them and to honor their achievement.
In a little town in Michigan, just south of Battle Creek, there's a story for those record books that high schools like to keep. From 1909 to 12, they played beneath the summer sun. The Athens high school baseball team went 42-0. In 1909, their streak began, went 12-0 that year. Killed Dexter's perfect season and became the team to fear. Shut out old Mount Pleasant on the season's final day. And those Athens boys of summer were on their golden way. 4 straight Michigan titles, 4 years without a loss. The Athens high school baseball team showed everyone who's boss. Before the world was shaken by the war and all wars, those Athens boys of summer settled every score. Now the dust has long since settled on that Athens field of green, and the feats of those young athletes have faded like a dream. The story of such greatness can't stay buried in the past. The legend of their dynasty is one that's meant to last. They did not know the word for lose, they only knew to win. With Lloyd Fox on the pitcher's mound, a brother Roy reeled him in. From Dexter down to Battle Creek, word began to spread. If you're playing Athens high today, you'll find trouble up ahead. If you're playing Athens high today, there's trouble up ahead.